I am just having a nice hot chocolate there. I love a hot chocolate. In fact, I love all kinds of chocolates. I'm sure maybe lots of you do as well. It's one of those strange things, isn't it? You can go all over the world and people always seem to love chocolate. Doesn't matter where you go. I mean, I love chocolate. I've always got chocolate nearby. I like to have a bowl full of chocolate. You know, most people have a bowl full of fruits, but which is probably a bit better for you, a bit healthier for you. But sometimes it's nice to treat yourself with a bowl full of chocolate, especially when it's Easter, or even just when it's a Tuesday or something like that. But I love my chocolate. In fact, I love my chocolate so much that I have even written a story about chocolate. And my story is called The Great Chocoplot. Now, I'm going to read some of this to you now. But before I read this, I've got to read out a notice first. It's a warning notice. My book comes with a warning. I know, shocking. So I'll read this out first. It says, warning. This story contains a threat to chocolate, which some readers may find disturbing. Are we all okay with that? Okay, I've got to start with a warning. Okay, so my story starts off with, in 6 days, there will be no more chocolate in the world ever. I know, sorry about that. Yes, well, that's what it said on the 7 show. Jelly had nearly reached the next level of zombie puppy dash, but hearing this made her plunge her pink puppy into a huge tank of zombie dog food. Whoa, what was that about chocolate, she asked, putting a tablet down. Something about it running out, said Mum, popping a chunk of chocolate into her mouth. Oh, you can't beat a block of chocolate. There's a picture of a block of chocolate there. You can't beat a block of chocolate. Jelly and her mum and dad loved the block of chocolate. Well, who doesn't? Once a week, Mum bought 1 bar for each of them as they all curled up on the sofa together to enjoy them before Mum started her night shift at the supermarket. Chocolate's always mysteriously running out in this house, said Dad, who'd already finished his block of chocolate and was now eating cheese and onion crisps. I'm sure there was a chunky choc chip crispy in the cupboard yesterday, but today it's vanished. I don't know why you're looking at me, said Mum, poking him in the belly. Oh, that's right, blame me, said Dad. I do. Good, good. Shh, said Jelly. I'm trying to listen. She's trying to watch the TV programme. The 7 show's chirpy and very tan presenter Alice was saying, and now to our man in the jungle and the scary chocolate prophecy. The screen cut to a lush green tropical paradise like Jelly had seen on documentaries about endangered species. And the caption on the screen read, Easter Egg Island. The reporter was a man called Martin, who had a wonky but fake-looking smile. He did the silly bits on the show, like when the old steam train was found buried on a beach in Wales, and that time a dog had fallen in love with an owl. Today he was standing next to an old man with wild grey hair that stuck up in patches. You can just see him there. Behind them was what looked like a huge stone egg. There's a picture of a huge stone egg there. It was twice the height of Jelly's dad and covered with jungle vines. It looked like it had been sprayed with green party streamers. Thank you, Alice, said Martin. I'm here on Easter Egg Island. This is the little island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, not Easter Island in the Pacific, folks, he says. And here with me is chocolate expert, Professor Fezziwix. Oh, who'd fancy being a chocolate expert? I think there's probably a few chocolate experts already out there, isn't there? And he is convinced that he has discovered a prophecy by the ancient civilization which once lived here, and, if you can believe it, they worshipped chocolate. The camera zoomed into the egg-shaped stone. It was covered with weird-looking marks and scratches. Yes, indeed, said the professor, who spoke like his tongue was too big for his mouth, and Jelly could see it was lolling out like a thirsty dog, and he was spraying spit everywhere. The ancient Chocolati tribe, who lived on this island over 1,000 years ago, created this egg and others like it as part of their worship. And it is believed, he says, that if you break one open, you'll find inside a tiny bag of chocolate puddings. Cool, said Jelly. However, more importantly, these markings here and here, the professor pointed at the egg, clearly indicate that during the 66th cycle of cacao, which refers, of course, to the movement of the stars on the summer solstice, there will be a... He paused, and Martin, the reporter, wiped spit from his face with a tissue before leaning in. A what? A cataclysmic cacao catastrophe, the professor spat. A chocopocalypse. A choco what? Said Martin, with his face shining with fresh saliva. A chocopocalypse, grinned the professor. This amazing stone predicts the total and complete disintegration of cocoa products at a precisely predetermined point in time. You what? The professor sighed. It means that on the summer solstice, the 21st of June, this very Sunday, chocolate will simply cease to exist. The chocopocalypse means exactly what it means. It means it's the end of chocolate. Jelly, her mum and dad looked at each other with their mouths open. That's mad, Jelly said. It also predicts, continued the professor, pointing to more scratches on the egg, that during the countdown to the catastrophe, a shower of chocolate shall rain down upon Easter Egg Island. Martin, the reporter, turned to face the camera with his wonky smile. A shower of chocolate? I'd like to see that. Anyway, there you have it. The chocopocalypse is coming. And on that bombshell, back to the studio to find out why dogs dream and cats don't. Well, it wouldn't affect us here in Chompton, said Dad, switching off the telly. There's more chocolate shops here than there are people. It was true. The town of Chompton-on-Delight was famous for being the world's biggest chocolate centre. They had more chocolate shops, factories and warehouses than any other country. And even though Dad and lots of his friends had recently lost their jobs at the big Chocoplot because of cutbacks, although nobody was really sure what they were, it was still the largest chocolate warehouse on earth. Enormous but not pretty ships came in and out of the river port loading and unloading chocolate cargoes. Local Chompton legend told that in 1522, the intrepid explorer Sir Walter Waffle returned from an epic expedition with Britain's first load of chocolate. But instead of sailing down the Thames to London to unveil his new treats to King Henry VIII, who had an extremely sweet tooth, he lost his bearings and ended up on the River Delight instead. Chompton had been at the centre of the chocolate world ever since. Jelly stretched out on the sofa and put her legs across Mum and Dad's. But how could chocolate just run out, she says. I mean, chocolate comes from plants, doesn't it? She flicked open her tablet again and typed, "What is chocolate?" Chocolate is derived from cacao beans, more commonly known as cocoa beans, from pods on the cacao tree, she read out. She knew her mum and dad loved to listen to her read, and she often read to them in bed to help them go to sleep. The Mayan and Aztec civilizations drank a form of chocolate known as Theobroma cacao, meaning food of the gods, centuries before it was shipped to Europe and developed into chocolate bars. So, even if the cacao tree did die out, Mum says, there would still be tons of chocolate left in the world. Yeah, well, let's remember, this was the Seven Shore, not the Open University, added Dad. Last week they said that eating lots of bacon would give you a suntan. Well, when me and your mum were first married, I had a bacon butty every day. And did I look like I lived in the Bahamas? No, I did not. There's an app for it already, Jelly said, still looking at her tablet. For what? Asked Dad, looking interested. Bacon butties? No, the Chocopocalypse, the countdown to the end of chocolate. It says here, it's free. Can I, please? Dad nodded. All right then, give it here. I'll put the password in for you. I already know the password, said Jelly, feeling insulted. I'm not a baby. Once the app had downloaded, Jelly suddenly didn't want to look at it. She slid the tablet back down the side of the sofa and tried to forget about the Chocopocalypse. She was always being told, usually by her mum, to stop worrying. But it wasn't as simple as that. You can't stop worrying about something just because somebody tells you to stop worrying. Even if you want to stop, it doesn't mean you can. To be told that she was always worrying made her think that she did worry too much. And this worried her even more. Could the world really run out of chocolate? Jelly was worried. So that's chapter 1 of the Great Chocoplot. Now, you've got to ask yourself, if you found out that chocolate was going to run out in 6 days, what would you do? Would you eat lots of chocolate? Would you panic buy chocolate? You know, would you store chocolate up? Would you share chocolate? Imagine your last bar of chocolate. Would you share it? And who would you share it with? So there's a little thought as you're enjoying some Easter chocolate. So I'm going to have a little bit more of my chocolate from my chocolate bowl. There's no chocolate left. Maybe, could it be possible that the Chocopocalypse is really happening? I hope not. So you make sure you enjoy your chocolate while you can. But more importantly, look after each other and take care. Bye.